Hello everyone, what's up? Prince15 here with another video review. Today I'm taking a look at LEGO Star Wars set number 75299, Trouble on Tatooine from The Mandalorian Season 2. But before we take a look at the set, let's take a look at the box. So here you have your typical LEGO Star Wars box. I will say I do really like how nowadays they are making kind of every box unique to the era that it belongs in. So since this is from The Mandalorian, you have an image of The Mandalorian up there, and then if it's Clone Wars related, then you have the Ahsoka 322nd Trooper, and you know they keep changing it up as per what it belongs to. So that's kind of nice. I do like that kind of. I don't want to say customization, but you know it kind of being specific to the era. That's just really cool. I like that. So, of course, it says LEGO Star Wars up here. This is for ages 7 and up. Of course, that's just a suggestion. I have to put that on there. 75299. Trouble on Tatooine is 276 pieces. It's a building toy in several different languages. Over here, we have the minifigures that are included with the set. Of course, you know all the set included on here. This is from The Mandalorian and the child. I don't know why the child's name is right next to the logo for the show. That seems a little weird to me, unless, of course, that's not the logo for the show, but that's the logo for the character, in which case, why it just shares the exact same logo with the show, and so, but the child is, anyway, it's weird. Of course, it says Disney over here, and then we'll move it over to the back, and so then here is the set, and all the things it can do, and you know, just one last time, Disney, and so yeah, that's it for the box. So yeah, Trouble on Tatooine. At this point, I am going to say pretty much full spoilers for. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it to episode 1, season 2, episode 1 of The Mandalorian. I'm hopefully not going to go any further than that. I'm going to try to keep it pretty spoiler free, with the exception of the first episode. So you are therefore warned if you, if you have not seen The Mandalorian Season 2 and you do not want to be spoiled, then don't watch this review. But if you have watched Season 2 and you can be spoiled, then okay, there we are. So yeah, so this is an interesting set because this is one of those, they wanted to get some merchandise out, but they didn't really want to spoil anything, so they kind of had to get a little loosey-goosey with the plot elements. Now, LEGO does this on the occasion, and this is a better example of it. You know, there's far worse examples of when they do this, such as Iron Man versus the Mandarin Ultimate Showdown with the flamethrower buggy of doom, that thing from 2013. This is a good example of it. It's like, is it really accurate to what we see in Season 2, Episode 1? No, not really. But is it awful? No, it's not either. Because, I mean, you can still recreate the scenes from Season 2, Episode 1. The Marshal, you get all the materials there. It's just the box does not necessarily accurately portray what was in that episode. So we will go ahead and start looking at some of the builds here, starting off with what I think is actually the most interesting build here, which is the little Tuscan Raider Hut. So Tuscan Raider Huts, I think, first appeared in Attack of the Clones. That's when we really first got to see kind of the Tuscan Raiders and their homesteads and how they lived and stuff. So yeah, it is kind of cool that you do get a bit of a homestead, and then you can. They don't really advertise this, but you can kind of flip that up and then make it a little bit more enclosed. It's not great, but then that has a tendency to happen. So it's not perfect, but I kind of give them props for trying to include a little Tuscan Raider homestead. I will say, as much as I do like the design of this thing and how it works and everything, which I'll get to in a minute, I do kind of wish that they had scrapped this in favor of making just a full-on Tuscan Raider Hut. But obviously, that's this is a play set. You gotta have the play features, yada yada yada. I get it. So yeah, it's maybe a little gappy, but I mean, for what this is, I think it definitely serves its purpose nicely. So I mean, yeah, it's sort of kind of just an extra little add-on that honestly the set didn't really even need. But it's actually kind of the most interesting part of the set to me. So Yeah. So moving on here, we have the Tuscan Raider Catapult here, as we saw in the Marshal. Of course, in the actual episode, these things were used to battle a crate dragon and not necessarily Mando and the child themselves. But it is cool that they incorporated this, because it was really cool to see that some more levels of Tuscan engineering. And it's like, yeah, they're primitive people still, but they are still capable of building some level of mechanics with their big crossbow launchers here. So you do have this this launcher that Lego's had for a couple years now. Works just like any other launcher. I'm going to see if I can friendly fire this Tuscan here. Boom! Direct hit. I have not been very successful with with hitting my targets in these reviews as of late, so I'm glad I actually managed to hit that. I think, hold on. I think, as far as I'm aware, this is the first time this has been included in silver. There may be another set from another line. I don't know. There's that Creator 3-in-1 pirate ship that released recently. I don't know if maybe it could include some of these, because this is silver, like cannonballs. But this is the first time I've seen that one of those comes in silver. So that's kind of a cool inclusion, that it's not a typical red or blue or whatever. So, and since I unfairly knocked him over, I suppose we will go ahead and take a look at the Tuscan Raider minifigure. So it's a very nice looking minifigure. I do really like the molded in head for the Tuscan. It's maybe a teensy bit too large. It kind of reminds me of those Lego Simpsons minifigures with the heads being so large, but honestly, it's not awful. I do really appreciate the 3D molding here, so it actually has that texture and that and all that going. That kind of it's got that dimensionality to it. I do really appreciate that. So that's cool. And built brick built gaffy stick, so that's cool. Printing is really nice. I really like the printing here. So yeah, overall, a nice Tuscan figure. I think we've been getting these guys for the last couple years, but this is the first time I've gotten one. This is actually my first Tuscan Raider ever in Lego. But yeah, I really like him. I think he's cool. It's definitely a good figure for the Tuscan Raiders. So there we are with the Tuscan Raider. But of course, now let's come to the thing that I think we're all here for. The main part of the set that I'm pretty sure we're all here for. And that is the Mandalorian Din Djarin, and I was about to say his name, but like I said, I'm trying to keep to just the Marshal spoilers only, and not expand on that. And the child, his little green son. So yeah, here's the little swoop bike that they ride that first appeared in Chapter 5, the Gunslinger, and it's a nice build. It's definitely a different build from speeders that we've gotten in the past. So I do appreciate that there's a new speeder build. It's not the typical, okay, we're just going to kind of rip off and do slight variations on the Return of the Jedi speeder or a Bark speeder bike from the Clone Wars. It is actually kind of a unique look for a speeder. It has more of that chopper hog type, biker gang bike aesthetic to it, which I really enjoy. So being I'm pretty sure this is a swoop bike. So it is nice to get a little bit of a different build for a speeder, so it definitely looks nice. Now, one thing though is that I'm messing around with this thing. I haven't really been able to get him to actually grab on to, and this is a problem I have with most speeder bikes that Lego puts out. I've never actually been able to get the minifigures to actually hold on to the handles. I don't know why. I mean, the box kind of has, as you can see, the box kind of has him leaning back a little bit, but I find that leaning back doesn't even help. So I mean, that's how I have him sat, but it does kind of move around a little bit, which is, I'm not really sure intentional, but I mean, it does kind of add a little bit dimensionality of play to it. I mean, it could almost be like a metal detector. I don't know. So yeah, the speeder bike is definitely nice, and it does have some little clips on here to hold Mando's weaponry. As you can see, there's the other blaster right there. So, but enough with the speeder bike itself. Let's take a look at the Mandalorian. Here he is in all of his shiny silver Beskar glory, the Mandalorian. I will say, the printing on the minifigure is gorgeous. This has to be, I think, one of the best looking minifigures we've received in years. I mean, there's arm printing. You don't often see arm printing, except on like a Spider-Man minifigure or something. Even then, it's just the one. It is just kind of the one repeated pattern. But I mean, look, there's a little mud horn thing, and he's got his gauntlets. I mean, it's so good. That's all shiny. It's not just gray. It's a shiny silver, and it actually reflects in the light, which is awesome. So I love this minifigure so much. It's really good, the details and everything, and you can lift up his cape, and then there is the back plate there. And then, of course, we come to my one complaint with the minifigure is that the helmet. The helmet is not necessarily done up in the exact same shit. This is done in gray, which is what I thought the body was going to be done in, but the body's actually done in a shiny silver. But the helmet is just done in gray, so the reflections off of it are just your typical reflections you're going to get. It's not going to be the super shiny thing like on the body, which is a little disappointing, but it's not that big a deal. Overall, the minifigure still looks great. So we can, of course, give him his weaponry here. He is a Mandalorian. Weapons are part of his religion, if he wants to hold the blaster. So here's his kind of smaller pistol that he has, so he can blast people that are trying to take the child. Pew, 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 pew. And then, of course, he also has his larger pulse rifle, which I'm not really a fan of the build for this thing. I think that, and this sort of also kind of feeds a little bit into my complaint about the build from the 501st Trooper Battle Pack. Well, not a Battle Pack, but you get what I'm saying. With the adding on that attachment to make the DC-15A look longer, is this I kind of have the opposite problem with, is that this seems too short. Where's the stock? The rifle, the pulse rifle's missing its stock. It's got a rangefinder, sure, but it's missing a stock because this is, boop, it's just a pistol. But the thing is that if you attach this to the longer rifle that does have the stock, then this thing would be way too long, and you wouldn't have that signature shape. So this is one of those cases where I feel like maybe LEGO Star Wars needs to get in one more blaster variant for cases like that, or there needed to be a brand new molded piece for the pulse rifle that fit minifigure size. Problem with that is that it's pretty. So far, this is the only character that has used that. It's why, and it would be expensive to do that, which is why you don't see every Jedi minifigure with their own customized lightsaber hilt. Any Force using character that has a lightsaber has the exact same hilt, because it'd just be way too expensive to custom mold all of the different lightsabers. So that's why they all just use the LEGO Star Wars lightsaber piece, and at this point it's been used for so long. I don't think that they could actually get away with I think if they actually started to custom mold the individual lightsaber handles, I think people would kind of start to go, oh, I don't like this, where I prefer the old thing. So it is kind of it's like, would it be cool? Yeah, but is it really feasible? No. So I suppose this thing will work. Another option, of course, is going to be places like Brick Arms or Clone Army Customs, the other 3D modelers that make minifigure scale weapons that you can order. Might be a little expensive, but if you really, really, really want that to complete your Mando, then I suppose you'll see if the price is worth it to you. But let's go ahead and give him his biggest accessory here. And oh no, I've just killed Baby Yoda. I've just killed the child. That's, look away, look away. So yeah, he just, oh boy, I'm just completely broken it now. So he doesn't really. As you can see, he doesn't really come out of this thing very well, at least in my experience. He kind of gets stuck in there, and you really have to pry him out. Come here. Okay, got him. Oh boy. I've done what so many bounty hunters could not. I've killed the child. So we'll just pop his head back on there. Boop. And there he is. There's the child. He's adorable. He's not as cute as of course he is on the show, but I mean, this is the best I could do with this tiny little minifigure. And so then we'll have Daddy Mando holding his little green frog son. And there we are. I mean, that's just kind of, that's everything you need right there. So, this was worth the price of admission right here. So, yeah, that's kind of the set in its entirety. It's cool. It's fun. I like it. Like I said, it's not exactly completely accurate to what we saw in the episode. But, with The Mandalorian being such an in-demand show and everyone wants to watch it and they don't want to be spoiled, and to avoid some of these spoilers, I kind of get doing what they did here, and they pulled it off very, very well. And some great minifigures to boot. Obviously, I think some people would have maybe preferred Cobb Vanth to be in this set, but again, that's spoilery. But also, everyone did want the Beskar armored Din Djarin as well, and hey, look, we got him. So, and I think I've seen a lot, there's been a lot of people, putting out there, oh, this is my custom Din Djarin from The Mandalorian. I think what the official thing is actually puts a lot of those to shame. There have been a couple that have looked like really, really good, but I've kind of had a problem with them in the helmet department, is that they used custom molds for the helmet, and it just didn't look right. It just kind of, it may have been a little more accurate to what's in the show, but it just didn't really fit the minifigure aesthetic, which is something that I really like to keep when it comes to my minifigures, and which is why I have very, very few actual custom minifigures. I only have like one or two, and even then they're customized by me. They're not like the official no, I mean, they're not official, but they're not quote unquote real, customized minifigures from like Colonial Army Customs or anything. So that's why, and that's part of the reason why I haven't gone for any of those, is that sometimes they break some of the aesthetic is that, yeah, you want it to be accurate to the show, but there's also the minifigure aesthetic to keep as well. So that's why I haven't sprung for some of those. Really, the only thing, I mean, I think this minifigure is just almost perfect. The only thing the only thing that this thing is missing is kind of the one little kind of crest piece that goes on top of Mando's helmet. That is really the only thing this minifigure is missing, is like the one thing that other custom Din Djarin minifigures do better is that piece. But otherwise, this set is great. The minifigure is close. The Mando minifigure is close to perfect with the Beskar. Of course, you get the child, a Tuscan Raider, all this conflict in a box, great stuff. And it's only like $25-$30. So I mean, it's a. I think I got this for $27. So it's new, but it was already kind of discounted by a couple bucks. So it's not expensive. It's a good deal. I highly recommend this set. The only problem is, are you going to be able to find it? So your luck will vary, of course, but hopefully if you do want this set, you will be able to find it soon. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this review. Not a whole lot to talk about, again, because a lot of spoilers. I'm not going to go on one of my big tangents like I've gone on the last couple weeks with these LEGO Star Wars reviews. I will pretty much keep it just to this. So thank you for watching. Please remember to like, you can't comment, subscribe, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. Remember to follow me on my social media accounts. Those are in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.